And we're back for the back nine here at Roper West, round 2 of the DGA Star City Classic, sponsored by Disc Gauntlet. We're at a PGA A tier in the DGPT Q Series event hosted by the Lincoln Flying Disc Club in Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm James Fleege, one of the tournament directors, joined by my friend Kirby Boehm. Thanks for hanging out, Kirby.
Thanks for having me, James. Excited to look at this back nine, see if Bennett can keep it rolling.
Yeah, Bennett playing a great round so far. Check in with scores here in just a moment. So we have an overhead view of West. There he is, through 9, 12 down overall for the tournament, with Harpool close behind at -11. Handful of guys at 9 and 7 down. See if Bennett and Harpool can kind of pull away from the field a little bit, or if they keep it tight. Moving into hole 10, 404 feet, par 3. It's going to be a Mando tree on the right side here, needing to stay to the left of that. Pin kind of nestled in with some small trees, OB fence on the left. Mainly just getting past the Mando. Most challenging part of this hole, I feel like.
Yeah, get past the Mando with something flat or on hyzer, just let it go towards the basket.
Got Ian Burchett on the box. And that looks nice.
Little drop, fade right in.
A little long, but
We'll be interested if those trees make a little bit of a difficult putt going long. Maybe a little bit lower ceiling than he'd like.
Yep. Ooh, inside from Bennett.
Gonna get any flip?
Yeah, drops down, be looking for a par from there, most likely.
That pushed through quite a bit.
That did. I was kind of surprised to see that, actually. It's looking nice. A little short. Not a little short, as it turns out. Right where you want to be. That looks nice.
That looks ideal. The spectators helping us out with the shot.
Indeed.
He really pushed through. He can give this a bid.
Yeah, friendly bounce there.
Friendly little kick indeed.
Yeah, you can see the smile. He knows it. See if Ian can convert for the birdie. Yeah, a little short.
You can see Payton's disc right there to the right as Bennett taps out. Playing with him round 1, I was really impressed with his composure, being such a young player. Whether he was playing good or bad, he was just even keel and really wise beyond his years. Able to walk the card with him. It was really cool getting to talk with him and his family. Really enjoys disc golf, loves it, and you can see all the work he puts in. Hopefully he's able to kind of straighten things out here on the back half.
And to look at number 11 here at West. One of the original 27 holes at West, actually. 295 feet uphill. These trees have grown in a little bit, giving you something to think about off the tee, but throwing something flat out there, letting in hyzer back in, avoiding that sidewalk OB and fence. Looking to see a lot of birdies on this hole, most likely.
Yeah. Today you can kind of see with the flag, we had a similar wind. It was right to left, kind of helping anything if you pull it a little bit. Once it catches that hyzer angle, it'll push back towards the green. Payton going over the top with his fairway. Again, push that wind pushing.
Okay. I did not expect somebody to go that wide, but he does it. It works.
Paul taking the more traditional line here. You can kind of come in as fast as you want because that fence will stop anything. if it gets a little bit away from you, but he'll have a good putt there. Looks like Ian lining up that same line that Payton took.
He's looking at it for sure.
Licking his chomps.
Ooh, a little deep.
Yeah, I think that right to left is just carrying them and picking up a lot of speed once they hit over that tree.
Yeah, for sure. You can see the flag pushing in that direction there. It's Bennett taking a little bit more of a straight route.
He's going to have to miss that tree.
Ugh. And I feel like we've seen several putts from Ian throughout the round that are just a hair off the mark. Kind of see a little frustration from him there, but...
Yeah. Looking like he expected that to lift, and I don't really blame him looking at that flag. Get a little lift from the headwind coming in.
For sure. As Bennett grabs his birdie. And a birdie from Payton. All with birdie. 3 of the guys grabbing the 2 on that hole.
Paul giving some kudos to Bennett there.
And flying hole 12, 470 foot par 3. A little bit difficult to tell from the drone, but going a fair amount downhill as far as Lincoln, Nebraska goes in relation to hills. Got some trees to work with here. There's kind of a gap you can take from left, drifting to the right. Might see some of these big arms just going over everything to the right, throwing a big hyzer, but OB behind the basket. But as Kirby's mentioned, grass a little bit sticky today, so that'll help. Those guys going up high.
Looks like Payton's going up high.
It's pushing and drifting.
Bail out left. It's hard to give it that commitment. You see the flag on the basket too. You need to hang it out right a decent amount to really trust that wind to bring it back. That bailout's definitely left. Similar spot to Payton for Paul there. That looks a little inside from Bennett.
And you can see the wind grab it, pushing. A little further out.
See if Ian can make that adjustment and really give it the commitment to the right. It's that same stable distance driver he's been throwing all day.
That is looking good. There we go. Probably circle's edge or so.
Yeah.
Oh, nice little bit from distance from Bennett. See if Ian can convert the birdie here. There it is.
tried to come out of that backside, but that deserved to stick all day. Great putt, Ian.
Yes, it did. Good birdie to get from C2 there. Let's see our other guys tap in for their pars.
Even though it is quite a bit downhill, it's still quite a bit of ways down there. Just getting a putt at it and giving yourself a chance for birdie is all you really can ask for.
For sure. And that'll bring us into hole 13. Definitely one of the more tricky ones out here at West. Gonna have a par 4, 669 feet. Working our way through these trees. You can go tight to the right of that evergreen just to our right now, or left. Looking to push up to somewhere around here, ideally, as a landing zone. And the fairway really pinches off and becomes tight to finish the hole. We have OB on the right, across the sidewalk, OB left. This basket centered right there nicely.
Yeah, for the players that want to throw the forehand into the green, the further right you get, it kind of opens up your spiky forehand angle into that green to just stick it.
Ian taking the forehand line, hoping for some ground play. We'll see if he gets it.
Not today.
Not today.
That was a good line from Ian. Aim it right at the pavement, let it come back.
So we see a very similar shape from Payton.
Just digs into that ground, not getting much. Nobody opting for the backhand through that right side.
I'm kind of surprised by that. I was wondering if people would want to bite off a bit more distance off the tee, but it's like they're just trusting they can execute that second shot.
Yeah.
There we go, Bennett pushing up a little bit further there.
Do you think it's that low ceiling on the right side to turn them? Just more space to the left?
The OB there is real tight. Really have to execute that first shot to make it worth it. As we see him get caught up on that one tree out there left of the sidewalk, dropping OB.
Yeah, for the forehand, that's kind of the aiming point. You just want it to start breaking before. It looked like that just carried a little long.
It's shaping up all right.
Yeah.
A little short.
That's a great shot.
Circle 2 look there for Paul coming up. Calling for it to sit.
It should dig. Off the pole.
That's pretty good, Kirby.
Yeah. Great shot from Bennett right there. And from where all these players are throwing, even if it looks like it's cut and right, again, there's a little bit more space than you think over there.
See if Ian can match that.
That's the line. Great shot from Ian.
Wow. Ian and Bennett making pretty short work. 13 there.
And this doesn't get much easier for Payton either. You're still having to carry that OB. And just trickles out of bounds.
Ah.
Good putt from Payton. We've seen some different versions of this hole. I remember playing tournament out here a couple years ago. They had a drop zone for any that went OB about 45 feet with a death putt with OB behind.
Yeah, I'd seen some different versions of 13 over the years. I think last year was pretty similar to this one, and I think we're pretty happy with the way 13's playing these days. See some pretty good scoring separation with the OB, but obviously by the way Bennett and Ian played, showing that it can be birdied rather easily as well. Paul taps in for his par. Going to bring us into hole 14. Pretty straightforward 14 here at West. 301 feet uphill. Couple trees in the way. Swing it out wide. Pretty easy to avoid those. Kind of landing on a slope, but as the disc spikes in, should just dig into the ground, especially on a day like today. Likely seeing some birdies on this one.
Yeah, and the wind really shaped up. It took us the backhand route, but it really shaped up for that big forehand along that left side and just show the angle and have it push into the green.
It's probably about circle's edge for Ian. Start to see a little rain coming down here. More on that in a minute.
That looks like good height from Bennett.
That's kind of the danger of the forehand play there.
Yeah, that
skipping down the slope.
The hill just brings you down super quick.
Here's the more traditional route from Paul. And he'll be happy with that.
Yeah, the backhand, especially seeing it from the catch cam, does a much better job of just the hill taking in that energy. It's a little inside from Payton. Just gets knocked down by some of those branches. Oh my.
It is picking up.
Great putt.
Oh, that was a great putt from Bennett. See that wind really blowing. I heard from a few guys that there's borderline sleet happening at this point, or perhaps on the next hole. Ian can't quite connect on that birdie there.
And it's kind of that Midwestern type of day where it's sunny outside, yet it's rainy. Looks like there's a little bit of sun behind.
Yeah.
It's not as dark and gloomy as you'd think with some of the weather that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, this front kind of popped up out of nowhere on us today. And a look at hole 15. 369 feet. Downhill. Really slopes off down by the basket. Downhill to the right. Swinging it out wide right. Here's the play. Letting it crash back in. Got some trees to miss, but should be a pretty stock hyzer here.
Yeah, the mistake you see here is just hyzering out early and cutting left a little bit. Lucky to find a gap through the trees, but sometimes you just hit the trees and are knocked down.
A little chase card check-in with Logan Harpool here. He's having an excellent round.
And it looks like he's in completely different conditions than our lead card.
Yeah, absolutely. The sun is shining.
The sun.
Harpool grabbing the birdie there.
To go to 10 down on the round.
That is some good golf. And here are the conditions our lead card is playing in.
High from Bennett. Looks like the wind's pushing it towards the green as he sails it into 16's fairway.
Not out of bounds, but rather deep there.
Yeah, they'll really need to focus on getting it right with how much that crosswind is playing with the disc out there.
Looks like Paul might have made the correction here if it drops, but the wind does keep pushing it.
Wow. Look to see if Ian and Payton stable up just to find something that finds the ground sooner. It's not as glidey.
Wow.
Yeah, so Payton looks like he disced up to that same purple disc he threw on the tee of hole 5. And Again, that wind's just pushing everything.
Yeah, it is. And it is getting rough out here, as you can see. Paul with his deep look here. Wind even just pushing that putt to the right. Is that a floaty berg shot?
I think it was a berg putt from Ian.
Is that a thing? I didn't know there was a floaty berg putt. But... Paul sneaks that in for a par.
There's no tap-ins in this type of wind with how open Roper is. You really want to make sure you take your time.
For sure. You see Bennett making sure he's got the grip he needs there as he gets his par. And at this point in the round, this is our last card left on the course. You see Ian running up there to tap out. Tournament staff did take a lightning delay here. This card was off the course for about an hour before safely coming back to play. And they came back to hole 16 with very high winds. Tricky hole to come back after a weather delay. Got a double mando here off the tee. 448-foot par 3. Getting through this mando, pushing down to the right. Got the basket behind these evergreen trees here with a sidewalk OB. Difficult hole to birdie. I believe Noah Meinsma was the only birdie on this hole on the day.
Yeah, especially in this wind, the angle control, whether you go forehand or backhand, you're going to really need to know your disc.
Yeah.
And hit the angle.
You can see the trees moving there. So we see that from Bennett. I'm not sure if he missed that mando or not. Tough to tell from that angle.
Just getting knocked by the wind. It's a great shot from Ian.
I think that should be safe.
It wanted to come back. The wind just didn't let it.
Kind of a tricky position he's found himself in. Not a lot of room to swing.
No.
Gets it off, but he find himself.
Oh, he goes under the tree. It's a tough spot to really find anything from under there.
So Payton will be joining him back there. It'll be difficult to get around that. Oh.
And that's what the wind will do.
Carrying Paul OB deep in the basket. He knew that right out of the hand.
Like Ian's going to try and play the wind, hang it out wide. Same result.
Same as Paul's.
Looks like Bennett's got just a pitch out.
Flag is just standing up.
I was curious how much of a run he was gonna show that. This is a tough angle for Payton. See Toby in the background, his brother on the bag, competing in MA1 this weekend. That's a long day for him.
Oh, as Paul sails that one over the top. Glad that one stayed in.
That's a really tough wind to play that hole in.
It is. Coming into that hole out of a weather delay, the Mando off the tee. Oh, wow.
Just a little high from Bennett in the wind. Just didn't let it find the bottom of the basket.
And rough hole for the card. Don't like to see that. But we'll move into hole 17 with the fly-through in much calmer conditions. 225 feet through the triple Mando here. Basket slightly off to the right, about 50 feet through the triple Mando. Would imagine the wind they're playing in right now is a little bit tougher than we're currently looking at it.
I wonder if we'll see in this wind just play up short just to not bring a bogey into play and still give yourself a putt, because that drop zone putt isn't too bad.
So we check in with Harpool. Sneaking through on the left side. And the clean putting stroke of Logan Harpool, connecting on a birdie on 17.
And that might be worst case, because I don't know if he passed the line.
That is going to be close. Interesting.
That's such good...
Pretty favorable bounce, I suppose.
I thought that was getting through. That wind just slammed it in the final stages of its flight.
Ball gets through. Maybe about 18, 20 left. The Berg holds straight on Ian. Missing the Mando. We're going to look at that drop zone, as it doesn't look like Payton misses the Mando. Kirby said not where you want to be there. Tries to cover a little ground.
And that was Bennett's birdie putt, right? Yeah.
Yes. Oh, no.
Wow.
Man, a few rough spit outs for Paul this round, and of course the last hole on Bennett.
I'm thinking with some of those spit outs and that giant tailwind on 18, I think we'll see some mashes trying to exercise some of those spit outs.
Yeah. And that'll move us into hole 18 to finish off the round here at Rover West.
Okay, Lucky, so you're Norwegian. Why don't you just tell people about your discs, and then I'll translate for people who don't speak the language.
Okay. Hi, my name is Lykke Lorentzen.
Hei, jeg heter Lykke Lorentzen.
Thank you to everyone who's bought my Signature Series discs.
Tusen takk til alle som har kjøpt min Signature Series disk.
Don't forget, you can buy them at infinitediscs.com.
Ikke glem at du kan kjøpe den på infinitediscs.com.
Was that okay?
Wow, I didn't know you could speak Norwegian.
Yeah, Duolingo.
And flying 18, 915-foot par 5. Eagled by a handful of guys throughout the day. The drone takes us down the fairway here. Probably seeing most guys stick to the right-hand side. There is some space to work with out on the left, with OB flags running the length of the fairway, as it tightens up a little bit around the green with OB to the right, left, and deep. The basket kind of nestled down in the corner here.
And it's a very similar shot these players threw as Logan goes sidearm. A very similar shot as what they throw on hole 1, and you even have more space on that left side for some of the bigger arms to really push. It's really dealer's choice off the tee, depending on how aggressive you want to play this hole.
Very nice from Harpool there. Setting himself up in a great spot here on the third. And an easy tap in for Logan. Finish off a great round. Shooting 12 down on West. Logan's got to be happy with that.
Yeah, a lot of strokes going into Beal tomorrow. If you can get him out here, just a little bit more comfort with going to Beal, how that course can play. It's high from Bennett.
Hoping to catch that tailwind, but doesn't catch the tailwind how he wants.
I wonder if he'll go up the left side from there. He'll try and get back to the right.
Yeah. Looks like a nice angle from Paul. If it holds it, and it does.
Does it come out? Looks like... Wow.
That's huge.
That is huge. It just got took by the tailwind and was stable enough to come back to the left. It's like Payton trying a similar line.
Oh, yeah.
Payton not to be outdone. Great shot. That'll be a good position going into the green.
You can see similar to Bennett's. Getting stable a little early. Oh, unfortunately landing OB for Ian.
Just takes such trust to put it on the angle you need to in that wind to let it ride right. What an adjustment.
Oh, no.
Wow.
What an unfortunate kick.
That was such a good line. He made the adjustment from the tee shot. Was pushing the green. It's like Bennett's going to go up the left side with the forehand.
He is. Hopefully able to get up and down for the birdie from there.
And I'd expect both Payton and Paul to push for the eagle.
Absolutely.
That's a great position.
Paul clipping that tree, narrowly staying in bounds, though.
Yeah, that tree can provide some drama on the right side. You have to push it to try and access the pin.
For sure.
Payton put in on enough hyzer to take it out of equation and pushes long.
OB long. Although going OB long, I was told that was a putter from Payton. 915-foot pole going long on your second shot with a putter. Not a problem that I have personally, but fascinating to see that happen.
Different type of problems, James.
Yes. And another one, unfortunately left a little short for me in there. See Payton missed the comebacker. There we go.
Great eagle from Paul.
Showing how to get it done here on 18.
Bennett looking to tap in the birdie, just making sure he's under control in the wind.
Getting the birdie, finishing off at 8 down for the round. As we see the rest of the card tap in the putts. Guys are probably happy to get off the course after that weather delay there.
It's a long day out there at Roper. Like Garmin Watch was telling me, almost 4 miles of walking.
Okay. As we take a look at scores for the round. Fortunately, a little bit of a rough go for Payton there. Bennett with a good round, finding himself in second place. Going into the final round at Beal Slough behind Logan Harpool, who has jumped up into first. -16 for the tournament. Lead card tomorrow will be rounded out by Evan Walker and Caleb Bruce at 11 down. And that's going to wrap it up. for us here at Star City at Roper West on day 2. Again, join us for day 3 at Beale Slough. We'll have coverage of that right here on Ace Run Pro. Wanted to thank the Lincoln Flying Disc Club for all the efforts put into this event here. Thanking our sponsors as well, DGA Disc Gauntlet, anybody who helped out with tournament prep for Star City, and of course all of the players who continue to come back to the event and make this a good event that we look forward to every year in Lincoln. And Kirby, thank you for joining me.
Appreciate it. Thanks for all your work, James, and just the city of Lincoln. Great job.